click is all it takes to lose everything.
We are in a cyber war. You can either be a defendant or you could be a victim.
Security policies play a critical part in your organization. And if you've heard any of my other videos, you know that they need to be written in a common language, 3 to 5 pages, and enforced. But the question I always get is, how do you actually write the policy statements? And the key to a good policy statement is SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. You want to look at every one of your policies, and the first thing you want to ask yourself, is it specific? You want to avoid vague terms like sometimes using your best decision under certain circumstances. All those things are dangerous terms that you want to avoid. You want numbers. Do not say go fast, go slow, 55 miles an hour. Now, one of the best ways to determine if it's specific is, can you measure it? Specific items can be measured, vague items cannot. So if you're having trouble figuring out how to measure the policy, it's probably not specific enough. Once it's specific and measurable, then is it achievable? Do they have the skills for doing it? Do they have the capability of implementing it? And this is where your training ties into your policy. You want to make sure that anything in your policy, people have the skills and ability to do. For example, we had one of our clients where they said when you walk away from your computer, you must always lock the terminal. And nobody was following it. You know why? No one knew how to do it. They never trained them to hit Windows L to lock it. Once they trained them so it was achievable, then they were able to accomplish the policy statement. The next one, realistic. And this is one that security people struggle with. It is better to have a realistic policy that everybody follows than making it so ridiculously hard that no one follows it. Example, I went into a client where, I kid you not, they had a password policy that said passwords must be 40 characters long, randomly generated, assigned to the user, and changed every 30 days. What do you think everyone did? They wrote it down. No one's going to even attempt to remember a 40-character randomly generated password every 30 days. So everyone had Post-it notes. The passwords were easily accessible. It would have been trivial to target and break into this organization because everyone violated the policy because it was not realistic. So I went in, assessed the risk of the environment, and we implemented a 17-character password that the user selects, that they change every 120 days. Now, after this engagement, I'm feeling really good. And one of the security folks come up to me. He's like, Eric, can I talk to you? I'm like, sure. And I'll be honest with you. I thought he was going to thank me for helping him. He goes, Eric, you're a disgrace. You know, we've spent multiple years implementing a 40-character password, and you destroyed that within a couple of days. And I looked at him and said, wait. My policy's stronger. He goes, you're telling me that 15 characters are stronger than 40. I said, no, you're missing it. A 15-character or 17-character password that everybody remembers is much stronger than a 40-character password that everyone writes down. So if you don't make it realistic, people will bypass and get around those controls. Now, you don't want to get crazy. Notice I didn't implement a 3-character password for 3 years, right? So there's a balance there, but the point is be realistic. And then finally, what is the time criteria? Do you have to change the password every 30, 60, or 90 days? So whether I'm writing policies, reviewing policies, or updating policies, I'm always going to go in and make sure it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and it's time-based. And then I'll give you a bonus item. The bonus item is make sure you're solving a problem and not fixing a symptom. That's the other big issue that I see with a lot of organizations is they have these policies that are all about symptoms and not problems. So I recently did an assessment of a policy, and it's a page and a half where they're talking about you must show respect for users, and users are humans and must be treated with proper respect and dignity and pride. And I tell you, I'm reading this thing. And I swore in the next paragraph they were going to implement Group Hug Thursday. On Thursday, you got to hug everybody. I mean, that was just the feel of this thing. And I'm reading this, and I have no idea what they're getting at. So I sat down with the folks that wrote it and said, okay, what is the problem? What is the root cause problem here? And they said, well, Eric, people are sending around inappropriate jokes in email. People are starting rumors about other employees in email. People are sending around inappropriate pictures in email that are offending other folks. What's the root cause problem? Proper use of email. So we took out that page and a half of mumbo jumbo and we replaced it with a proper email policy of when can or can't you use corporate email, and all of a sudden people started following it. So make sure as you're writing your policies, not only are they specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based, but make sure they're solving the root cause problem and not just fixing a symptom.